Today we are going to see an English chapter from Class 10 NCRT Diary of Annie Frank, which is written by Annie Frank herself. Who is Annie Frank? She was a German girl and Jewish victim of Holocaust who is famous for keeping a diary of her experience. She and her family went into hiding for 2 years to avoid Nazi persecution. Today we are going to see what she has written in her diary. Hello everyone, you're watching Tutor. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, make sure to subscribe it. Okay, now let's begin with the chapter. Writing in a diary is really a strange experience for someone like me. Now, who is saying this? Annie Frank is saying that writing a diary is a strange experience for her. Why she is saying that? Because she has not written a diary before. This is the first time that she is writing, and she is saying it is very strange experience for her to write a diary. Not only because I have never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musing of 13-year-old schoolgirl. Why she is saying that it is a strange experience to write a diary? She is saying that it is not just because I'm writing this diary for the first time, but also in future neither I nor anyone else will be interested in reading what I have written in the diary, because people may think that what can a 13-year-old girl, a school going girl, could write in a diary. Musing means to keep thoughts. Okay, to keep thoughts. She was keeping her thoughts in diary, and she says that nobody will be interested in seeing what she has written in diary. Oh well, it doesn't matter. But this doesn't matter to her. I feel like writing, and I have an ever greater, even greater need to get all kinds of things off my chest. Now, why she is writing? Because she want to bring all the secrets from her heart in a diary. Maybe she is not having any friend to share her thoughts, so she has thought to start writing a diary so that she can write everything what she feels, whatever is going in her mind or heart. She could write and feel relaxed. So this is the reason why she is writing a diary, because she has no friends to share her thoughts. Paper has more patience than people. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of this saying on one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, wondering whether to stay in or go out. Now, what she's saying that paper has more patience than people. It means that when you speak to people, they may sometimes not be interested in listening what you are saying. They may not pay attention to your words, but paper has more patience, because whatever you write, whatever you uh, write in a piece of paper, in a diary, it takes on. Okay, it never says that I'm bored or don't write on me. So she's saying that paper has more patience, because whatever you wish to write, you can write on paper, but you cannot say everything to people around you. They may not be interested, they may not give their all ears to your words. And once she was confused whether to go out of the house or to stay at home. Once she was feeling very bored, and she was confused whether to go out of the house or to sit at home. She was wondering. Listless means she had no energy. Okay, then I finally stayed where I was, brooding. Brooding means boring. Sorry, worrying. Okay, she was worried actually. So finally, she decided to stay at home. She was worried. Yes, paper does have more patience. And since I'm not planning to let anyone else read this stiff-backed notebook grandly referred to as diary, unless I should ever find a real friend. Now, what she's saying, that she decided to stay at home. She was worried and she decided to stay at home. And she's saying that paper does have more patience. So you can write whatever you feel to write on paper. And she's also saying that I will not show to anyone what I have written in the diary. It is only for me. Okay, I'm writing my thoughts in this diary, and this diary will be only for me. I'm not going to share what I have written to others unless I find a real friend to show it. It probably won't make a bit of difference, and this doesn't make any difference. Now I am back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Now she is saying that why, what is the reason she has decided to write in a diary. She is saying that I don't have a friend. She is lonely. She don't have anyone to share her thoughts. So she has decided to write her thoughts in a diary. Let me put it more clearly. Since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world, and I'm not. She is also saying that if I say that a 13-year-old girl like me, if she is alone, nobody will believe. If she say this sentence to others, that a 13-year-old girl, she is alone and she needs a diary to write, nobody would believe in her words, because in that age people usually have lot of friends with them. She's saying that I'm alone, but it is not that true that I'm all alone. I may not have a true friend, but I'm not alone. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. Now she is speaking who all are surrounded by her. She has a loving parents, and she also has a 16-year-old sister. She is older sister, okay? She is having 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people around her, and she can call them as friends. So she is not all alone. She is not lonely. She is surrounded by many people. I have a family, loving aunts, and a good home. Okay, she is having a family, she is having aunts, and she also has a good home. No, on the surface I seem to have everything except my one true friend. She is saying that I have everything. I have a family, I have aunts, I have a good home, but the only thing I don't have is one true friend. All I think about when I'm with friends is having a good time. All I think about when I'm with friends is having a good time. So what she is thinking, I should have friends and I should spend quality time with them. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. Now she's having around 30 people, uh 30 people, okay? She's having almost 30 people she is having, but she can't say each and everything to them. She can't share each and every uh, aspect of her life to them. Only the ordinary talks she can talk with them. We don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that's the problem. Now, what's the problem with her? That even though she is having many people around her, she can't share her secret with them, because they only talk ordinary talks. Okay, they have only ordinary talks with them. She can't share each and everything with them, and that's the problem with her. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. Now she's saying that it may be my fault that I'm unable to reveal all my secrets to them. In any case, that's just how things are, and unfortunately they are not liable to change. This is why I have started the diary. Okay, what she is saying that it may be my fault that I'm unable to reveal my secret to them, and that's the problem. And this nature of mine will not change, because even I'm the same way, and the people around me, they also have the same habit. Even they are not ready to share all the secrets with me. They also have only ordinary talk with me. So it is not possible to make true friends for her. To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do. But I want the diary to be my friend, and I'm going to call this friend Kitty. Okay, now she is waiting for a true friend. It's in her imagination to have a true friend, and she decided to write everything in a diary. And she's saying that my diary will not be just a diary that I'm writing each and everything, but it will play the role of true friend for me. That diary will not be only a diary for me, but it will play a role of true friend in my life. And she has named that diary as Kitty. What is the name of her diary? It's Kitty. Okay, now let's discuss some question answers here. What makes writing in a diary a strange experience for Annie Frank? Why did she say that it was a strange experience for her? Because she has never written a diary before, and also she said that neither I am interested in writing diary nor anyone else in future will be interested to see what I have written in my diary. So she's saying that it is a strange experience for me to write a diary. Okay, then second one, why does Annie want to keep a diary? Now, what is the reason why she has decided to keep a diary? Because she is all alone. She doesn't have a true friend to share her thoughts. Uh, her heart, chest, mind are filled with thoughts. So she has decided to make a diary, to keep a diary in which she could reveal all her secrets and feel free and relaxed. So that is the reason she decided to keep a diary. Then next is, why did Annie think she could confide more in her diary than in people? Okay, because she felt that paper has more patience than people. People may sometimes not give importance to your words, but whatever you feel, you can write it in paper. So she has decided to write her thoughts in paper. Okay. Now let's see the next paragraph. Since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge right in, I'd better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. Now she's saying if I directly start writing my diary, nobody will understand what I'm writing in my diary. So let me give an introduction, a brief introduction of my life, that is about her personal life or about her family. Okay, so now she is giving a introduction. Okay, now she is giving an introduction about her life. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. Now she is talking about her parents. Her father was 36 and her mother was 25 when they got married. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. She had a sister, older sister. Her name was Margot and she was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12th June 1929. When was Annie born? Annie was born on 12th June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. So, till the age of 4, she was in Frankfurt. My father emigrated to Holland in 1933. Then, after few years, her father he migrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September. In September, her mother also migrated to Holland. While Margaret and I were sent to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. Only father and mother they went to Holland. These two sisters they were staying with their grandmother in Aachen. Now this is Aachen, it is a place, it is a town in Germany. Okay. Margaret went to Holland in December. Now after few days, Margaret, her elder sister, she also went to Holland in December and I followed in February. Then few months later, Annie also migrated. She also shifted to Holland in February. Okay, so everyone they went single. Okay, they did not go to Holland all at once. A few days after her mother went, then after few days Margaret went, then after few days Annie went. So one by one they shifted to Holland. When I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margaret. See, when Annie went in the month of February to Holland, it was a surprise gift for Margaret because it was her birthday. It was coincidence that Annie reached Holland on the same day when Margaret was celebrating her birthday. So it was a birthday gift for Margaret. Annie's presence was like a birthday present for Margaret. I started right away at the Montessori nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6. Now, when Annie went to Holland in February, she took admission in Montessori nursery school. Okay, now she had uh, joined to school and she was in nursery now, and she stayed there until she was 6 years. At which time I started in the first form. First form means first grade, first standard. In the sixth form, my teacher was Mrs. Cuperes, the headmistress. So when she reached the sixth standard, she had a teacher, Mrs. Cuperes. She was the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. Okay, so when she was in sixth standard, she had a good relation with her teacher, Mrs. Cuperes, and they both were crying because there was a farewell time now. It was a heartbreaking farewell time, so both were crying in tears because they were too much attached with each other. In the summer of 1941, Grandma fell ill and had to have an operation. Now, in the year 1941, Annie's grandmother she fell ill and she had to undergo an operation. So my birthday passed with no with little celebration. Little celebration means she did not celebrate her birthday in 1941 because her grandmother was ill and she had to undergo an operation. Grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. Now, next year in January 1942, her grandmother passed away. And she's saying, I loved her so much. I was attached so much to her that nobody can think how much attachment we both had. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other, and grandmother's candle was lit along with the rest. In 1941, she did not celebrate her birthday because her grandmother was ill. Next year, in 1942, Annie celebrated her birthday. So on the table, she also lit the candle for her grandmother and also for other ancestors who has passed away. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20 June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. Now she's saying, till now everything was going good. We all four of us are doing good. Who are four? Mother, father, Margaret, and Annie. All four of them they are doing good, and now uh, that brings me to the present date. Now, which date it is? 20 June 1942. Now she has started writing diary. Solemn dedication means sincere dedication of my diary. Now she has started to write diaries. Till now she was just giving introduction about her family. Okay, brief sketch she was giving. Now what exactly she is writing in the diary, that we will see below. First, discuss some question answers here. Why does Annie provide a brief sketch of her life? She told earlier itself that if I straight away write the diary, nobody will understand my word. So she thought to give a brief sketch of her life. That is about her parent, about her grandmother. Okay. What tells you that Annie loved her grandmother? What tells you that Annie loved her grandmother? She was so much attached to her grandmother that in 1941, when her grandmother fell ill, she did not celebrate her birthday. And next year, when her grandmother passed away, in that year, she not only celebrated her birthday, but she also lit candle for her grandmother and also for the rest of the ancestors. Okay, she was paying tribute to them. So this shows Annie loved her grandmother very much. Now let's see what she has written in the diary. From here it starts. Dearest Kitty. Now what is this Kitty? Kitty is the name of diary that Annie has kept. The name. Okay. Our entire class is quaking in its boots. Quaking in its boots is an idiom which means shaking with fear and nervousness, means very frightened. So she is writing that our entire class was very nervous. Why they were nervous? Let's see. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next form and who will be kept back. So why they were scared? Because it was a day where teacher they gathered all the teachers they gathered and they were deciding what to do now of these children, whether to pass them or whether to fail them. Okay. So because so the students they were very much scared that what teachers will give their result about us, whether they will pass us or whether they will fail us. Half the class is making bets. Now students they are making bets. Gn and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, Cn and Jax. Now Annie and Gn, these two of them, they were laughing for the two boys who were sitting behind them. Why they were laughing at the two boys, Cn and Jax, who have staked their entire holiday saving on their bet? Because they have spent all their holiday money, all their holiday savings on bet. What bet it was? Whether I'll pass or whether I'll fail. So in the class they were betting. From morning to night it's you're going to pass, no I'm not. So whole day they were betting. They were putting money and they were betting that I'm going to pass or you are going to pass or you are going to fail, like that they were saying. Even G's pleading glances and my angry outburst can't calm them down. Now one of the student whose name is G, she pleaded, means she tried to calm down the class, and also Annie tried her best to keep the class quiet, but they both failed because the class they were shouting, they were betting, so nobody could control the class. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. Now, Annie is saying that if you ask me who are going to pass or who are going to fail, she is saying that there are so many students in the class, about a quarter of class will remain in the class itself. Okay, dummies means here number of students. So she is saying that there are quarter of students in the class who will be kept back in the same class. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on earth. She is also saying that teachers are most unpredictable, means you can't predict them. The nature of teachers are different. Sometimes they are in a good mood, sometimes they are in a bad mood. So what decision they will take for us, we can't think. I am not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. We'll make it. Now Annie is saying that I'm not so worried because I and my friends, they are we both are good friends. We and my girlfriends, that is Annie and her girlfriends, they are good in studies. They are good and they will make it. The only subject I'm not sure about is maths. She is saying that I have a doubt only in math subject whether I will clear it or not. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to lose heart. Okay, so they were waiting for the teachers, that when they will come and when they will give the result. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. She is saying that I am good with all my teachers, so I hope that she will pass me. There are nine of them, seven men and two women. Now, how many teachers are there? There are total nine teachers in school. Seven are men and two are women teachers. Mr. Keesing, the old fogey who teaches maths, was annoyed with me for ages because I talked so much. No, Annie is saying that she had a maths teacher whose name was Mr. Keesing. He is very old fashioned, old foggy. He is very old fashioned, and he was very much annoyed with me because I used to talk so much. After several warnings, he assigned me extra homework. Okay, max teacher, Mr. Keesing, he was giving warning to Annie that don't talk. But Annie, she was a talkative girl, so she could not control her talk. And finally, max teacher, he gave her assignment, homework. What assignment? An essay on the subject chatterbox. Now, what is chatterbox? Chatterbox means the one who talks too much. So, max teacher gave a topic to write essay for Annie. A chatterbox. What can you write about that? I'd worry about that later. I decided. Now she started thinking what I should write on this topic. Then she stopped thinking about that. She thought I will decide afterwards. I jotted down the title in my notebook. Now she wrote that title chatterbox in her notebook and tucked it in my bag and tried to keep quiet. Now she wrote that word chatterbox in her rough book somewhere, and she tried to control her talk. That evening, after I had finished the rest of my homework, the note about the essay caught my eye. Now, when she was writing her homework, okay, not this essay, but other homework, when she finished writing that homework, she noticed that she has to write an essay on chatterbox. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Now she started to think about that topic, a chatterbox, and how she was thinking. She kept the pen on her mouth and she was chewing the tip of the pen. Okay, most of the children, they have the habit of putting pencil in their mouth and they chew the top of the pencil and they think something. So the same habit she was also having. Anyone could ramble on and leave big spaces between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing argument to prove the necessity of talking. Now she was thinking, if I write nonsense in the book, it will be of no use. If I write large words leaving gaps in between, it may look a whole page is written, but there will be no meaning in that. So she was thinking to write something meaningful that could convince her teacher. I thought and suddenly had an idea. When she was thinking, after a long time, she got an idea what to write. I wrote 3 pages. Mr. Keesing had assigned me and was satisfied. Now she wrote 3 pages on that topic chatterbox. After thinking a lot, she wrote 3 pages of that chatterbox, and Mr. Casing, he was satisfied with the answer. I argued that talking is a student's trait, and that I would do my best to keep it under control. Now, what she wrote in that talking is a student's nature trait. Okay, it's nature of student, and I will try to keep my talk under control. She wrote this, but that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit since my mother talked as much as I did, if not more, and that there's not much you can do about inherited traits. What she wrote, that it's my habit to talk more, I cannot do anything, but I will try to control my talk. I will try to talk less, and it is an inherited nature, means I got this habit from my mother. Even my mother, she is talkative. I got that habit of talking more from my mother. I can't cure that habit. I will be talkative, but I will try to keep it less. Okay. Mr. Keesing had a good laugh at my argument, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. So when she wrote this essay on Chatterbox and gave, he was happy. He laughed at her essay. Then when he was teaching next lesson, again Annie, she started talking and she got another assignment from her maths teacher. This time it was supposed to be on an incorrigible chatterbox. this topic she got to write essay. What is incorrigible chatterbox means? Something you cannot correct. I handed it in, and Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for two whole lesson. So when she got second assignment, she wrote on that topic also, and she handed over to Mr. Keesing. He accepted the essay. Okay, and for next two lesson, he did not complain anything because Annie was quiet. However, during the third lesson, he finally had enough. Annie Frank, as punishment for talking in the class, write an essay entitled Quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. So, for two lessons, she was keeping quiet. But when he started teaching third lesson, again Annie started talking. Now, this time, the master he gave topic as Quack, Quack, Quack to write essay on Quack, Quack, Quack. Now, Quack, Quack means it is a sound made by duck, so she had to write essay on this. The class roared. I had to laugh too, though I had nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of chatterbox. It was the time to come up with something else, something original. Now when the maths teacher he gave topic to write on Quack, 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 the whole class started laughing. Even Annie started laughing because now she had completed all the points. She was not having any more points to write on this chatterbox. Okay, it was the time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Sani, who is good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in verse, and I jumped for joy. Now she was thinking, what else can I write on this topic? All of a sudden, she remembered her friend Sani, who was good at poetry, means writing poetry. She said that I will help you in writing the essay from beginning to end. Okay, she said I will help you, and I will make you to write essay in the form of poem, in the form of verse. And Annie became very happy. Mr. Keesing was trying to play a joke on me with this ridiculous subject, but I'd make sure the joke was on him. Now Annie understood that Mr. Keesing he is trying to make fun of Annie by giving the same topic again and again. So she also decided that I will make sure that this time the fun will be made on my teacher. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and a father swan with three baby ducklings who were bitten to death by the father because they quacked too much. So now she wrote the essay in the form of poem with the help of her friend Sani, and it was very beautiful. It was about a story of mother duck and father swan. The parents they had three ducklings who were bitten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Now the baby ducklings, the three baby ducklings, they were talking too much. They were quacking too much. So the father swan, he bit them to death. Okay. Luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke the right way. Now, what message she was trying to give with this essay? If the baby has got the habit of talking more from her mother, is it right for a father to beat the baby till the death? So this was the message she was trying to give to her teacher. And luckily, Mr. Keating understood the joke and he took it in the right way. He did not got angry, but he understood the message that Annie tried to explain him with the help of the poem. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments and to several other classes. He understood the meaning of the poem and he read that poem out in the class, and also to the other class he said that poem, and he also added his own comments while saying that poem. Since then I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework. Then after that day, Mr. Casing did not stop Annie to talk. He allowed him to talk because he understood that this habit cannot be cured. She is talkative and she will be talkative throughout her life. You can't help her. So he also stopped interfering and scolding her. On the contrary, Mr. Keesing always making jokes these days. Now, Mr. Keesing, that is Max teacher, he also started to crack jokes in between his lectures. Okay, before he was strict, but after But afterwards, he was convinced with Annie's words, and he also changed his little bit of behavior. Before he was strict, but now he was not that strict. He used to allow Annie to talk, and also he to cracked sometimes jokes in the class. Yours, Annie. So here the diary ends. Okay. Now, oral comprehension check. Why was Mr. Keesing annoyed with Annie? What did he ask her to do? Why Mr. Keesing was unhappy with Annie? Because she was a talkative girl, she was disturbing him. And what did he ask her to do? He asked her to write essay on chatterbox, on topic chatterbox. How did Annie justify her being a chatterbox in her essay? She wrote that she has got that habit from her mother. It is inherited. She can't cure it, but she will try to control her talk. Do you think Mr. Keesing was a strict teacher? You can write he was not strict, but he was annoyed. He was irritated by the talkativeness of Annie, so he was behaving in that way. But he was not strict. Later on, he also changed his behavior. He allowed Annie to talk. Okay. Then next is what made Mr. Keesing allow Annie to talk in class? What made him allow when she wrote the essay in the form of poetry about the mother duck and father swan. When she wrote that essay, she gave the message that if the habit of talking more is inherited by the mother, it is not good for a father to beat the baby till his death. Okay, so that statement made Mr. Keesing to allow Annie to talk in class, and from then onwards, he did not bother to disturb or to scold Annie. I hope you have understood the chapter. Okay, and if you want notes, then you comment in the comment box. Till then, read the chapter. If you have any doubt, tell me. Okay.